Greetings.
Hello there. Now that fewer of the iron...
Yes?
We're beginning to phase out outdated services like DSL, but current DSL customers will be able to
Hollywood's demise approaches, and even they are starting to see the writing on the wall. Hollywood will barely dare whisper, but the woke revolution that has driven out white men and ensures that every production is ideologically sound will kill the entertainment industry, writes Peter Kiefer and Peter Savotnik. I actually already beg to differ. This is just the title, and I agree with your boy Zach. This sounds like a freaking description. It's not a headline, it's a description. I already disagree. It's not going to kill the entertainment industry. It's just going to kill Hollywood. Just like how if all the AAA gaming companies went out of business tomorrow, it's not going to kill gaming. It's just going to kill those AAA companies. The mainstream is no longer the only game in town when it comes to entertainment. I actually want them to disappear. They're doing way more damage than good right now. We'd be way better off if they did collapse and we could build something better on the rubble. Their very existence is causing damage right now. So there's going to be no sympathy from me there. So a version of this piece first appeared in Common Sense. All right. A few years ago, editor-in-chief of The Hollywood Reporter pitched a story to the newsroom. He had just come back from lunch with a well-known agent who had suggested the paper take a look at the unintended consequence of Hollywood's efforts to diversify. Oh, you mean the stuff I've been warning you about for years too? You ignore me while I'm warning you you're about to drive off a cliff. I'm done warning at this point. I'm just going to sit back and laugh. Those white men who had spent decades writing scripts that had been turned into blockbuster movies and hit television shows are no longer getting hired. The newsroom blew up. And I just got to say before we continue here, I hope those white men that were making blockbusters handled their money correctly. I hope they saved up. I hope they didn't get into debt. I hope they didn't spend more money than they made. Because this is the position I'd like to be in when my industry is going down the drain. I'd love to have the ability to retire whenever I want. And then they try to force me to do some of this woke shit. No thank you. I'm just going to leave. No, the reporters, especially the young ones, mocked the idea that white men were on the outs. The editor-in-chief, normally self-assured, immediately backtracked. He looked rattled. It was a missed opportunity. The story wasn't just about white guys not getting jobs, nor was it really about the economics of Hollywood, which is all about tax evasion. It was about the stories Hollywood told and distributed and streamed on screens around the globe every day. Yeah, notice that the more diverse they get, the less diverse their audience gets and the less money they make. That's the funniest part of this whole situation to me. It was about this massively lucrative industry that had been birthed by outsiders and emerged out of lemon groves into a glamorous, glitzy mosh pit teeming with chutzpah and broken hearts and unbelievable success stories that had made the American dream real. A pulsating thing for Americans and billions of other people who thought that if you could imagine something, anything, you could will it into being. And this is why I don't care if Hollywood disappears, if AAA gaming disappear. Let's read this again, at least a part of it. Lucrative industry that had been birthed by outsiders and emerged out of lemon groves. We can do this again. Let the dying old corporate legacy industries die and build newer, better ones on the rubble. That's how they got their start. Are you saying we can't do it? Part of the reason this hasn't happened yet is because these dinosaur legacy industries keep standing in the way. Every time a good new up-and-comer shows up, these dinosaurs either maneuver to get them shut down, or they buy them out and absorb them. If we didn't have these guys getting in the way, we could accomplish so much more. It was a story about who we aspire to be. After the meeting, a reporter approached another editor about pursuing it. The editor told the reporter to drop it. No one, he said, at the Hollywood Reporter, one of a handful of trade publications that covers the ins and outs of the entertainment industry, was going to risk blowing up their career over this. And this is why I have no sympathy for these people, actually. Oh, I got to keep my head down. Now, this is going to sound harsh, and it is, and I don't give a shit. I don't trust anybody still in the mainstream industry. I keep hearing stories like, oh, well, no one's really woke in Hollywood. Oh, they're just saying that because they have to keep their jobs. And then they're going to claim out of the other side of their mouth, oh, I love this industry. Oh, this is in my blood. I love it. If you love it so much, why are you just silently standing there watching it get butt raped to death? Is that what you get off to? If you guys were honest and you really loved the art form, if you really loved the creativity, the industry, wouldn't you want to be trying whatever you can to save it? But no, worst case, they're the ones doing the fucking. Worst case, they're watching and wanking to it. I don't trust any of them. The explosion of woke, as one longtime producer put it, didn't come out of nowhere. Yeah, you know why it happened? It's because the silent majority are a bunch of useless cucks. If the silent majority stopped being silent, this wouldn't be a problem anymore. But everyone's too scared. Hollywood has always pushed the boundaries from 1947 Gentleman's Agreement, which confronted anti-Semitism, to Guess Who's Coming for Dinner in 1967, which tackled interracial marriage, to All in the Family in 1971 1979, which grappled with race and women's liberation. The original run of Will and Grace from 1998 to 2006 did more to advance the cause of gay marriage than anything else pre-Obergefell. I agree. It really did. And then there were the villains. The vast majority, from the Terminator to Hannibal Lecter to Gordon Gekko, were uber white. An Austrian robot, a Lithuanian, a waspy with a pinstriped capitalist. From the Insider's List, see the Hollywood Reporter. But it wasn't until current year -7, when the Oscars So White controversy engulfed the 87th Academy Awards, that the studio chiefs and producers really started to rethink how they do business. This gained momentum in current year -6. And even more than with late current year -5 with Pound Me Too. It started falling apart in 2015. 2016, they smelled blood, so they doubled up. Pound Me Too was one of the death blows, to be honest. Then came George Kirby and the Summer of Love in current year -2, where everything happened in slow motion started to happen much faster. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, the industry's central nervous system, had been founded in 1927, and now it had 8,469 voting members. It had tried over the years, especially since Orange Man's election, to catch up with the zeitgeist, inviting into its ranks a record number of new members who were Black, Latino, Women's, or foreign-born. But that wasn't going to cut it any longer. And guess what? I don't care. Let them destroy themselves if that's what they want so much. You could always tell the woke to shut the fuck up and go away. Others have successfully done so. If you choose not to, you deserve to go broke. No sympathy.
This is one of the most despicable things I have seen in all my years in public service. Republicans are moving on a...
So in September of current year -2, the Academy launched its Representation and Inclusion Standards entry platform. For a movie to qualify for Best Picture, producers not only had to register detailed personal information about everyone involved in the making of the movie, but the movie had to meet 2 of the Academy's 4 diversity standards, touching on everything from on-screen representation to creative leadership. An Academy spokesman said only select staff would have access to data collected on the platform. Until it gets hacked. The Academy explained movies failing to meet these standards would not be barred from qualifying for Best Picture until current year +2. Imagine if these directors decided that, instead of making Oscar bait, how about I just make a good movie? This wouldn't even matter. But producers are already complying. In current year -2, data from 366 productions were submitted to the platform. Meanwhile, CBS mandated that writers' room had be at least 40% Black, Indigenous, or people of color for current year current year -1 to current year broadcast season, and 50% by current year to current year +1. ABC Entertainment issued detailed series of inclusion standards. I guarantee you every studio has something like that, the longtime writer and director said. Meanwhile, Japan is coming in and just eating America's lunch. Hey, all these unserved customers, we'll take them. To help producers meet the new standards, filmmaker Ava DuVernay, who was recently added to a Forbes list of most powerful women in entertainment, sadly, along with Oprah Winfrey and Taylor Swift, last year created the Array Crew, a database of women's POC and others from underrepresented groups to work on data production, line producers, camera operators, art directors, sound mixers, and so on. I'm a Slav. I should get on that list. The Hollyweird Reporter declared that Array Crew has fundamentally changed how Hollywood productions will be staffed going forward. If you're a white man, use this as a warning, okay? If you're a white man and you're already in Hollywood and you haven't been disposed of yet, start planning your exit if you haven't been already. If you are a white man looking to get into Hollywood, start considering an indie career or something similar. And then when this whole thing collapses and you're the only one left standing and they're begging you for work, don't give it to them. Now, I've said this before. I am not going to give like a 17th chance to someone who's already proven to be a bad actor when there's a line out the door of people waiting for their first chances. We don't need these people. They got nothing of value. So more than 900 productions, including Yellowstone and Mayor of Easttown, have used Array Crew, and Jeffrey Tobler, Chief Marketing Officer of Array, DuVernay's production company. Privately, directors and writers voiced irritation with DuVernay, who they said had exploited the post-George Kirby moment, but no one dared criticize her openly. I'm not crazy, one screenwriter said. And this is why you fuckers deserve what you get. You claim to love this art form, and yet you silently watch as it's being destroyed. Oh, everyone believes the way I do. We're just all afraid.